This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian.
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy James.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
This is the handsome high roller Solomon Stone, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James J., and it's a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with the handsome high roller, Solomon Stone.
What is going on?
We are good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great.
Can you tell us where the handsome high roller is rolling the dice next, event-wise?
Yeah, my next event is coming up in Holland, Michigan. It is July 31st, Friday night at the Park Theater in Holland, Michigan.
Perfect. And where can we find you on social media and your merchandise?
All of my social media is going to be at Solomon Stone 22. I have YouTube, I have Twitter, I have Instagram, TikTok. You name it, I have it. You can find me at that handle. Merchandise, I have all my merchandise at future shows. You can message me, DM me. I also mail out merchandise as well. Otherwise, I believe I still have a Pro Wrestling Tees, and that's prowrestlingtees.com/thegoldrush22.
Perfect. And you don't have to go looking for it. All of the links to his social media will be in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox. Alright, let's get into it. You work for Pure Pro Wrestling. Can you tell us about your relationship with that company?
I do. I've been wrestling for Pure Pro Wrestling since about 2018. They're primarily based out of the Flint, Michigan area. But yeah, I've been working with them ever since. I actually started down in Florida. That's where I actually trained out of. And then when I moved back up in the Midwest, they're the first pro wrestling show that I actually went to check out and try to get my name out there in the Midwest. And the rest is history. I've been working with them ever since.
What would be some of the differences you saw wrestling down in Florida compared to Michigan?
I mean, from my personal experience, there's a lot of pro wrestling in Florida. There's just so many companies in really any area that you go to. We have numerous companies, kind of like it is here, but not quite as much. I mean, more of the pro wrestling companies are going to be more out in the Detroit area, I feel. But we do have some good old wrestling companies out here in the West Michigan. We have some up north, all over the place. But really, everyone in Florida's hungry. Everyone in Michigan's hungry. We're all in it for the same reason. And I would just say that there's a little bit more, and it's hot. A lot hotter.
I'm sure outside shows are not fun in Florida.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I'm sure outside shows are not fun in Florida.
Oh, no. My God. No, I mean, that air, I'll tell you what, that air is thick. But it's fun. I mean, I've wrestled in, outdoor shows. I've wrestled in flea markets with no AC, no fans, nothing. I mean, same here though. But it's a little thicker down there, but either way, it's fun.
you've been down there since moving to Michigan, correct?
Yeah, I did a couple shows out there for GCW. I think that's about it. I flew out there a couple times.
I gotcha. Well, let's, instead of talking about outside venues, let's talk about an indoor venue. Not too long ago, you wrestled in the Van Andel Arena, which is a proper arena that even WWE ran.
I did.
What was that experience like competing in that building?
Well, that experience in itself was, I mean, it was what we all kind of dream of, is to, work in our home state, or the venue that we went to watch, WWE or whatever promotion it was, WCW back in the day, if you're that old enough. It's your dream as a wrestler to wrestle in that venue at least once, and I got to do it twice, and it was pretty surreal, pretty cool experience. We got to work with the local basketball team there at the Van Andel Arena, and it was insane. It was awesome, and some of my friends and a lot of my family got to see what I was doing and all that good stuff. So it was awesome.
Is that a moment you take in the moment, or is that something that kind of sets in afterwards, like, wow, I did this?
I would say honestly, it's a little bit of both. Just because, I mean, the first time I did it, it was definitely more of like, soaking in that moment afterwards, after it all happened, after the adrenaline's gone. But that second time, it was a little bit of both. I got to just kind of take a deep breath and kind of just look around the arena, even like when there was, still a bunch of people in there and a lot of stuff going on. I just was looking around. I was like, wow, this is probably one of the coolest things I've ever done.
Is that like a full circle moment? Because I can't imagine you haven't seen pro wrestling in that arena itself, no?
Oh, big time full circle moment. I mean, I've gone to the Van Andel Arena to watch WWE. Gosh, I think my first one was maybe when I was like 14. My mom took me and some of my friends out, and I've been there numerous times. So I mean, it's a pretty huge, full circle moment for me.
Now, I found one thing interesting, that you've been in some quite obscure stipulation matches. One of them being a blindfold match against a modern day shaman.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that match. That was interesting. You don't hear about too many. First of all, you don't hear about too many odd gimmick matches in the indies. So I was pretty excited when the opportunity first came up for that, and I was like, hell yes, I'll do it. Let's do it. You go back to thinking blindfold matches. I don't know about you, but the match that I automatically think of is Rick Martel versus Jake the Snake Roberts.
Right.
So I mean, I was pretty excited about that, and it definitely turned out better than I thought it would. The fans were into it, and it was overall just a pretty fun match.
And we're working on the indies here. Are those, are those working blindfolds, or they shoot blindfolds?
No, they were I would say borderline working. I mean, you could see through them, but just you'd have to really pay attention to what you're doing, from what I remember.
Was that difficult to kind of, obviously have your vision impaired?
No, I thought it would be a little bit difficult, but I mean, it was a cakewalk. It was fun. I mean, I couldn't have asked for for it to go any smoother than it did. And a match like that, you got to really, really work it, because you can lose the fans very quick in that kind of match. Especially the indies. I mean, people don't really have that much of attention span these days, but they were into it and they were very interactive with everything. Kind of played off to and those was years ago, so I kind of remember playing off to like how Jake Roberts did and kind of pointing, trying to get them to, telling me where Shaman was, and it worked, and they loved it.
Now, another match you've been in is and I'm not making this name up, the big ass motherfucking invitational scramble match.
Yeah. Yep. That's a long one. Yep. I was involved in that. That was WrestleMania. It was WrestleMania weekend, Tampa and Florida. I forgot what number that was. Gosh. What are we at now? 42?
Yeah, I believe it was 40.
38 maybe?
37. 37.
Wow.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun, huh?
Right.
But yeah, that was fun. That was very fun. I think I double or triple booked myself that same day. So I was running around town like a madman. I flew in from Michigan, got off my plane, quickly caught an Uber to my hotel, threw my bags in, got dressed in gear, got another Uber in full gear, crazy Tampa traffic, and got to the venue. And the match was already starting, so I'm on the phone with the promoter at the time, kind of like, hey, I'm almost there. As soon as I pull up, again, full gear, ready to go, and I think I was up within like 2 minutes of being there, and it was just full throttle. It was fun. I think I got the shit choke slammed out of me out of that one, but it was fun. It was very fun.
You said that you did dream matches that same day?
I think so. Because I know I had a couple booked with GCW. That was kind of an all-day thing. So yeah, it was just literally the minute that I landed, it was just go, go, go. And I think by the time I got home, 2 or 3 in the morning, I was just okay. It was just nonstop, like all over the place, trying to make one place and not be late. And
how did your body feel after that?
well, if I recall, I want to say possibly. No, this is another time. I was gonna say that if it was the night that I got dropped on my neck, I would have been feeling horrible. But this was a different time. No, I mean it was great until the adrenaline wore off. But then when I woke up the next day, I was pretty sore. I think I had my flight back home pretty early in the morning. But I just remember I was like ready to go home. As soon as I get home, get lay down and just take the whole day. But I just remember being very sore, but very, very happy with the whole weekend. Not often you get to experience as a wrestler working Mania weekend in the same city, full of thousands of wrestling fans, and it was all worth it.
Hell yeah. From a big ass scramble match to wrestling Eric Smols.
Eric Smols, huh? Yeah, that was another fun one. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I feel like that whole year or two, I was just on a roll, just having so many fun matches, doing different kinds of matches, working different places. And Eric Smols is a guy that I've never worked before, and I was very excited that I got that opportunity to work with him. And dude, we didn't have a whole lot of time, but what we did, it was awesome. It was magic.
Is that another moment being in the ring with Eric Smols, considering he's a big name on the indies?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it was great. Like, he was such a pro and great to work with, and like the whole point, like I love it when we're out there having fun, and that's what we did. We just had fun. It was stress level was literally zero. I want to say I think that was at a biker fest in Muskegon, so that was another outside show. So Muskegon's actually only about 10 minutes away from where I grew up in Grand Haven. So I mean that's kind of like hometown backyard deal. There's a lot of people that I knew that were going to that biker fest with thousands of people. So I mean, all in all, that was pretty awesome.
You mentioned, stress level was zero. Is that something that you have often going into a match? Zero stress, or was this time different?
I mean, it just really just depends on your day. Me, everyone kind of has their own ritual and how they, go about their show days. Sometimes mine are a little chaotic just with travel and, I have ADHD like a motherfucker. So sometimes us ADHDers like to do things last minute. So I like to, I don't know, I think it's the adrenaline rush, but when it comes to getting my merch all ready, crisp, folded, good to go, for some reason, I just always do that last minute. So I think that's what usually takes up the stress level a little bit. But overall, I mean, just go out there and have fun. I try not to stress out about anything. I don't overthink matches and stuff like that. I'm more of a go with the flow kind of guy. So it just depends.
I gotcha. Well, can you tell us about the Gold Miners glove match against Stark?
I was wondering if you're going to bring that one up because you were talking about crazy gimmick matches.
Right.
So this one was very different. Like I've heard of the coal miner glove match before, but I never really knew like the stipulations, how it works, how you actually work that kind of match. So I mean, it was very different. It was cool. It was fun. It was just so different that I didn't know really what to expect. That I feel like what do you say? I guess didn't meet my expectations of the match. But I mean, overall, it's fun. One of those things where it's like, okay, if I did that again, I would have done that completely different.
What would you have done differently?
I mean, just part of any wrestling match, you want to build to something. In that match, whether like let's just say you're working, your partner's got an injured arm, so you want to build to that injured arm or whatever it is. So this coal miners match, glove match, was just kind of, that's just all it was. Like, I feel like there was not a lot of build up as far as trying to get to that coal miner's glove and, that just basically that kind of stuff. But I also am one to overpick my matches and all that stuff too. I critique myself a lot.
I gotcha. Well, it's definitely, when it comes to gimmicks, it's definitely a more old-timey gimmick match than we see nowadays.
Oh, yeah. But I would definitely be open to doing it again.
Any particular opponent you'd like to have a Gold Miners glove match with?
Anybody and everybody.
Well, this isn't a match, but it's definitely obscure. Can you tell us about meeting Jimmy Hart in an Olive Garden?
Yeah. Wow, you did your research, huh?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, hey, kudos to you, because not a lot of people do thorough. That's some deep research right there. Yeah, so when I moved to Florida, I want to say in like 2012 or 2013, somewhere along those years. But one of the first jobs that I got there was I was a waiter at Olive Garden, and It was in Bradenton, Florida, which is kind of, I mean, it's about 30, 45 minutes away from Tampa, where really most of the pro wrestlers are. So I didn't really expect to ever see, any kind of wrestling people there. This is when I just first started training at this school. So, I mean, I wasn't really, into the business per se, but all of a sudden we got this party, I want to say, of 8 people, and they all come in, and I see this guy with this, kind of poofy, longish hair, and he had his jacket on too, and I was like, holy shit. And so it wasn't even my table. I was just helping the waitress get, all their drinks and stuff like that. So I was carrying it all for her. And I walk around the corner. I didn't actually realize that it was him, but when I walked around the corner to where the table was, I almost dropped all the drinks and the tray of everything, because I was like, holy shit, this is Jimmy Hart. And so I was like, Crystal. I pulled her to, the side station. I was like, do you know that? She's like, no. I'm like, that's Jimmy fucking Hart, the mouth of the South. She's like, okay. I'm like, he's a wrestling legend and like one of the greatest wrestling managers ever. And she's like, okay, cool. Do you want to like go say hi or something? So I was like, yeah. So of course, like I'm just, lingering around in the background, try not to make an ass out of myself, be professional. But I kept putting it off because I was being chicken shit about it. And so I'm getting my own drinks from my own table. All of a sudden, I feel a little tap on my shoulder, and I turn around. It's Jimmy Hart right in my face. I was like, hello, sir. How are you? And he's like, well, hello. I hear you're a big fan of mine. I'm like, yes, sir. I've been watching you since I was a kid. And he's like, well, that's so wonderful. Thank you so much. He's like, how about we go outside and take some pictures? I'm like, yeah, let's do that. So I didn't even have to ask him. He just came up to me because, the waitress just kind of mentioned that I was fanboying over there in the corner, but he was very nice. Like one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet.
That is absolutely awesome. And it definitely sounds like just something Jimmy Hart would do for sure.
Oh, yeah. Like such a nice gentleman person. Like he didn't have to do any of that. But he went and found me in the side station where, usually you can't really see, like customers can't see a lot of the servers in that area. So the fact that he went out of his way to come say hi and offer to come take pictures, and how about we stand over here? Or how about on this spot? Like we took like 20 pictures.
That's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
I've met Jimmy Hart as well, and he's a complete sweetheart. Definitely one of the best, one of the good ones in pro wrestling for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, we are talking about, the beginning of your career, when you were just starting to get into pro wrestling. That being said, could you tell us about the Apache Assassin?
Yeah. So that was, gosh. So to pause you on that. So actually, I started training 2 separate times. Well, the first time I want to say was like 2008 out in Iowa. That was very brief, and I don't know if you know who Chief Adekolico is, but he's the one that originally started to train me. But then he kind of went off on the road, was very busy at the time, so that just kind of, I don't know, fizzled out, I guess you could say. So when I moved down to Florida, I found this school called Definitive Wrestling International, based out of I think it was Riverview, Florida. And so that's where I trained. But I was trying so hard to figure out, like, okay, cool, I'm training, I'm almost ready to go. Who the fuck am I? Sorry, I don't mean to cuss.
No worries. You can say what you want.
Like, who the hell am I? What do I like? What do I want to be? Like, and you always hear like, be yourself, but just turn it up a notch. But I'm like, just trying to think of something different. And it was just one of those things where I just like, okay, I have Apache roots. And it was just one of those things where I just like thought of it very quickly and just kind of rolled with it. I enjoyed some of it, but it was just too gimmicky for me. So yeah, and then I literally went to be myself and turned it up a notch.
I mean, it wasn't. I wouldn't say that it was all negative. You did have that sick mohawk, I would say.
Yeah, that thing got pretty gnarly, very long, which that's one thing too. Like, I've never like had an actual mohawk in my life, and when I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go all out and do it, like, it got pretty long. It got pretty nice. Easy haircut to do yourself too.
You mentioned, starting in Iowa, then obviously going to Florida. How long of a span of time was it between 2008 and when you started picking up training again?
Ooh. Well, I actually don't think I actually didn't start training. I get my years so mixed up just because it was so long ago. I moved out to Iowa in 2008, I think it was, because my dad actually lived out there by the University of Iowa. And I wanted, because I was there I probably lived there for about four-ish years. And I want to say probably the last 2 of those years is when I started, maybe 2010. I found a poster for this indie promotion called MXWA. Shout out to you guys. They just actually put on a reunion show, I think maybe a week or 2 ago, and it looks like they killed it. But yeah, so I found one of their posters, and I mean, I legitimately stalked anyone and everyone that I could on that poster to see where I could train for to be a pro wrestler. And I finally got somewhere with it and just trained there. And then I already told you kind of that backstory on how that happened. I want to say probably, maybe a good 3 years, 2 or 3 years in between that and when I started in Florida.
And what was you obviously said that your trainer left, but what took you so long to try and get back into pro wrestling, may I ask?
Well, it was one of those things too, because I feel like at the time there was few places to train, at least from where I was located, as far as like pro wrestling training or academies, promotions, stuff like that. There was a good handful, but from where I was, we're talking like 6-hour hike each, there and back. So it was one of those things too, where my father passed away in the meantime too. So I appreciate it. But it was one of those things too. I'm like, all right, what do I want to do with because he was the whole reason why I moved out in the first place. So there's kind of a little gap in there. I was just kind of like, trying to find myself and what I want to do. And a buddy of mine was like, hey, I just moved down to Florida and I work with this guy and he says he's a pro wrestler. I'm like, what? I was like, who is he? And he told me who he was. His name was Ray Ayala. He's, was a pretty big, indie name down in Florida. I know he's done a lot of extra work from WCW back in the day too.
Yeah.
Really good guy, really good worker. So he was telling me about him. He's like, I will link you guys up. And he said he will train you. I'm like, no shit. I was like, all right. So that really got everything back on track and, those wrestling juices flowing. I was like, all right, let's do this. So I sold everything that I had, including, I think I had at the time 2 cars, maybe 3. And I just flew down there with, I want to say 2 suitcases and a backpack. And it was just like ready to go. I had no game plan whatsoever as far as like where I'm going to live, where I'm going to work, nothing. I just sold everything and moved. And the rest is kind of history. I mean, there's, I had to get my footing down in Florida and figure out, I was going to support myself, before I actually went to train. But I mean, that's really what I did though, was sold everything and just move on to the next chapter.
Hell yeah. Now, we talked old gimmicks, current gimmicks. Could you tell us about Piero the Booty Hunter?
Wait, what? Wait, who?
Piero the Booty Hunter?
You're talking about, is it like Perro?
Yes.
Like Pero? The
Piero,
booty hunter?
Yes.
Dog the booty hunter instead of bounty hunter. So dog in Spanish is Pero.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of remember that. I feel like I was just kind of messing around because a few years back I absolutely nailed Nacho Libre for my Halloween costume, and I was, a couple years after that, I was pitching ideas. My God, because there were so many Cinco de Mayo shows, going on, and I was usually regularly part of those shows around that time Cinco de Mayo was. I'm like, I gotta use this Nacho Libre costume, for like a gimmick match for, Cinco de Mayo. So I was just throwing random funny names that I could think of. Sometimes just stuff just comes to my head and I just spit it out. Nothing ever came of that though.
Okay, so not a gimmick, just a Halloween.
Nope. Just a Halloween. It was more of an idea.
Gotcha. Now,
It could happen though. Could happen.
Okay, so he could become a thing.
It could. I put feelers out there.
Alright. Now, one of your opponents, actually gave you a painting that he painted of Eddie Guerrero. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So this was part of the first run as far as pro wrestling down in Iowa. I know him, and I feel horrible. I forget his gimmick name, but his name is Greg. And he was part of a tag team called Celtic Carnage. Just two big ass guys, powerhouses that, and I want to say I think they're my first match ever, if you want to call it a match, because this match was absolutely fucking awful. And I'm glad there's no footage of it because I would ask for it to be burned. But no, it was I wasn't even fully trained, and I got they just needed a spot filled, and they needed me to be a tag team partner for this other guy, and so yeah, those two were my opponents, and I remember because my dad was there, so it was cool. It had its cool moments and stuff. It was my first time being in front of a crowd, and my dad and my brother, sister, and people were there, but it just happened so fast. So I don't remember a whole lot of it. It's just one of those things where I feel like I kind of blacked out. But Greg, he's always kind of been in contact. I have him on Facebook and stuff like that. And he always knew that I was such a big Eddie Guerrero fan. And he's a very, very talented painter. I don't know if you ever can check his stuff out, but he has so many different murals and paintings of different wrestlers and stuff like that. They're badass. And the Eddie Guerrero one in particular is dude, that is probably the baddest fucking Eddie Guerrero painting I've ever seen in my life. I need that. I was like, paint me one or something. And then I don't even know how this happened. He just one day he's like, what's your address? And gave it to him, and then next thing you know, I get a package in the mail and it's a painting of it. I still have it.
What did that kind of mean to you?
Oh, it was just, he didn't have to do that for me. This was so kind, and, went out of his way to give me something like that he knew that would mean a lot to me. And he didn't ask for anything back. And it's one of those things we genuinely, there's a lot of great people out there in wrestling, but for me, I feel like it's a small handful where people genuinely go out of their way to do nice things for you, and he's definitely one of them.
Oh yeah. It's nice to hear the good stories of indie pro wrestling for sure.
Oh yeah, and there's so many out there. I mean, I feel like a lot of wrestling gets tainted by all these stories of shitty people in the business and doing shitty things or whatever it is. So I feel like we need to highlight the good stuff a little bit more.
Hell yeah. Now, we're highlighting the weird stuff. It's time for Solomon's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
Oh boy. I want to say one of the things, I don't know if it's the craziest, most bizarre thing that's ever happened to me, but the wrestler that you mentioned earlier, modern day shaman. So when I first moved back up to my hometown of Michigan, actually shaman, I met him down in Florida for one of my home promotions that I wrestled for. He wrestled there too. So at the time in Florida, I knew him and I said, "What's up?" Obviously respectful, cool with each other, but I wasn't friends with them, hang out with them all the time. So when I moved back up to Michigan years later, I was like, "Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm back in Michigan. You guys want to hang out? Let me know." And he messaged me, was like, "Hey, I'm in Michigan. I moved here." I'm like, "What? Get the hell!" I was like, "Where?" And he's like, "Grand Rapids." I'm like, "Dude, that's like a half hour away from me." I was like, "What?" And so it's a small world, you know what I mean? So I was like, where do I get started around here? Because I've been gone from Michigan for so long. So we got motorcycles in the background. So I've never actually wrestled in Michigan or primarily in the Midwest, because I started in Florida. So I had no idea where to go, what promotions were out there, if there was many at all. And he's like, "Dude, I got you. Just, you'll follow me, come to me. You're going to come with me to shows." So that's what I did. And, credit to him, because, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have gotten my foot in a few places and get my start in the Midwest. But one of the times I think this was for an Indiana show, he picked me up, and this girl that I was dating at the time, because she wanted to come, and I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. You see what this wrestling's all about and what our day looks like." And so he's driving. I think he had his wife with him at the time too. So it's me and the girl that I was dating in the back seat. Well, we get pulled over. So we get pulled over by the cops. I'm like, all right, because I don't even know why we got pulled over. We got pulled over. The cops ran his license. They're like, "Step out of the car, sir." They put him in cuffs, take him to jail.
Oh.
Yeah. So, well, actually, no, they didn't even take him to jail. They were about to. Gosh, see, this is why you don't get hit in the head and protect your head at all times, because I forget shit sometimes. But I don't remember if he actually went to jail, but I know for a fact that I had to drive his car because we were actually on the way to the venue for the show. And I can't remember if he got bailed out or not, but regardless, I had to drive his car to the show because I was the only person in that car with the freaking license.
Okay, so what exactly happened that they arrested him?
I think his license was expired. So it was literally silly. It was nothing. And I feel like he actually ended up making it to the show. He got bailed out or something. We everything worked out. But it was just crazy, dude. Because it was just I felt like it was a Super Troopers moment, and I was like, "There's no way this is fucking happening." And we're on the way to a show. We got to wrestle in 3 hours. And my tag team partner is fucking getting arrested. Like, like, how are we gonna pull this off? You know what I mean? But it all ended up working out. But yeah, it was just crazy. Just stuff like that. I mean, this Indiana for you, though.
Definitely a bizarre experience to say the least, but at
Oh,
least
yeah.
everything worked out in the end. Now, can you tell us about the Living and Luxury podcast?
Yeah. Gosh, that was COVID. That was peak of COVID where everything was shut down and this is when like everyone was starting their, I don't know if you remember, but I feel like everyone at the time was starting their own fucking podcast.
Right.
Because what else are you gonna do? What's the wrestler gonna do? Start a podcast. So I was like, you know what? I got my garage set up. I got my workout stuff, and I got everything set up already. I might as well just call up some friends and shoot the shit and start, I guess you'd say, interview them. It was short lived, but it was cool. It was kind of a cool experience because I never actually got to get any story from any of the people that I've wrestled or have become friends with. So that was a pretty cool part of it. Just actually sitting down, well, not physical sitting down, but listening to their story and how they came about, in the game of wrestling, and it was pretty cool. I think I got maybe like 4 episodes. I don't remember though, but it's still out there somewhere. I think you can still find it on Spotify or YouTube.
Do you think that we'll ever see a return of this podcast?
Honestly, I was thinking about it. I want to say probably in the last year or two. I was like, maybe I should try doing that again. It was kind of fun. The other thing is just time. Time. Like busy, go. So like I would definitely have to make the time for it, but when that time comes, I would absolutely love to do it again.
Oh yeah.
Especially now that I know what I'm doing a little bit.
Right. Well, we'll definitely see what if there will be a return in the future.
Yeah, I will let you know.
One thing that you were a part of was you were on Let's Make a Deal.
Yeah. Yeah, that was gosh, that was a very random thing too. I randomly applied for a couple game shows. Let's Make a Deal was definitely one of them. And I started getting these emails back from this casting company, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you have to send in like a little video, of whatever, just be something, wild or show some charisma." And they liked me and were like, "Oh, we would love to have you on the show." So I'm thinking the whole time, hell yes, they're gonna fly me out to California, it's gonna be paid for, hotel, and it actually ended up, they're like, well, actually, we're going to have you just dress up in costume, and we're just going to have you set up kind of like a Skype interview, and you're just going to, interact that way. Because I didn't realize that they have people in the background of the screens doing that, as well as people live in the audience. So, yeah, so if you ever watch that show, you'll notice there's people, kind of like when WWE did it, had all the fans in the background.
The Thunderdome.
Yes, Thunderdome. That's what it was. So it was kind of like that. But I'll tell you what, I don't know if I could ever do that again because for sitting, so I basically set myself up in my front porch in the middle of summer, full Nacho Libre costume, and I'm talking turtleneck costume. Sweating my ass off because there's no AC in that front porch. It was a closed porch too, so like whole time I'm just sweating. But I had to sit there for 8 or 9 hours nonstop, clapping and kind of being a goofball the whole time. I mean, it was cool, fun experience, but I probably, unless they flew me out, probably wouldn't do it again.
I would definitely agree with that.
But it was fun. It was cool.
Well, maybe a better, a funner experience. Can you tell us about your love of The Sopranos?
Oh my God, I fucking love The Sopranos. Yeah, gosh, probably one of the greatest shows of all time. Like, people still, how many years it's been? Almost 20 plus years since the show came out.
that.
And yeah, I mean, dude, I remember when I was a kid, my mom was watching. I was like, what is this crap she's always watching? And I mean, dude, people still watch this show, even the generation now of kids. Like, I hear about it and see it on social media, people watching this stuff. So I mean, it's up there. You know, it's one of the greatest shows of all time. James Gandolfini, he was such a good actor, and he absolutely killed that role. Yeah, I mean, it's just a wild show and one of my favorites. I don't know if have you seen his kid? Have you ever watched The Sopranos?
I've seen a couple episodes. I haven't watched the whole series though.
Oh my God. All right, soon as we're done with this show, you got to start watching it. But no, it's he passed away, I don't know, 2013 or something like that.
Yeah.
But his real life son is also an actor now. He's probably in his early 20s now, but he's a spitting image of him. And he actually got to play his dad, Tony Soprano, in one of the like prequel movies that they did for The Sopranos. It was pretty cool.
That's right. Oh, I can't remember the name of it, but yeah.
Many Saints
of Newark.
Yeah. That's what it is.
But
yeah, dude. So I've watched the show in its entirety probably 5 times now. I started my 6th time, but it's one of those comfort shows that I'll watch here and there now. But anytime that I get sucked into a few episodes, guaranteed that I'm talking just like them for at least a few days.
Right, a couple episodes is binging the whole series.
Oh yeah.
Who's your favorite character?
Tony.
Obviously. Favorite episode?
Gosh, there's so many good ones. I'm trying to think. Well, there's a lot from the first season that I like, because I feel like the first 2 seasons, he wasn't such a fucking asshole. You know what I mean? Like, he was that lovable asshole. But I feel like as the seasons, got deeper, he just kind of turned into more of an asshole. So I feel like I just like more of the beginning stuff, especially the stuff with the ducks. It's too hard to even say, honestly. That's 8 full seasons, dude.
Right, I know. Well, I mean, some people have, their personal favorites. But I do have to ask, what did you think about the ending?
The first time that I saw it, I was like, what the fuck is that? But now after seeing it a few times, like, I'm okay with it, because it kind of leaves more of your imagination to kind of see it, kind of for yourself to think what happened. I mean, and no one else really done that in the show too. Just kind of go to a black screen. I think he got whacked in the restaurant, but I wasn't a fan of it at first.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's pretty much the consensus.
Yeah, that's everybody. Everyone fucking hated it.
Right.
But I get it now. I get it.
Oh, so I saw. Well, okay, we have to make this guy really, really angry. Okay, has he seen the ending of The Sopranos?
Yeah. Yeah, if you would have talked to me the first time, I would have been like, fuck that. But no, I get it. I get it now, after seeing it a few times, wrestling kind of helps with that too. You got to leave people hanging sometimes.
Right. Now, can you tell us about your tattoos and if there's any significant meaning behind them?
Honestly, no. I don't really have any really anything meaningful with my tattoos. Most of them I got when I was a young punk kid, like 18 years old. I was like, yeah, just put some flames and skulls on my arm and some smoke and, stuff like that. The only one that I have that would have any meaning is I have butt cancer on my collarbone, and that's one of those things I did probably a few days after my dad passed, because he passed away from cancer. So that was probably a couple days after he passed. I was like, fuck it, I'm getting this tattoo right on my chest. Otherwise, everything else is just nonsense.
Is there any plans for new tattoos in the future?
Yeah, actually, once they're not so expensive, but no, they're always gonna be expensive. You got to, you pay what you want. You want good work, you got to pay some money for it. But my next tattoo that I'm going to get, so it's actually going to be a cover up of a cover up of a cover up. So on my left shoulder area, I originally, gosh, I was 16. I told my cousin, I was like, hey, put a cross on my shoulder, because I don't know, he made some like stupid like homemade tattoo gun, and so I told him to do that, and it was, my 6-year-old son can draw a better cross than what he did permanently on my shoulder. So I had that on there, and then years later, a friend of mine was like, "Yeah, we're having a tattoo guy come over if you want to get some work done." I was like, "Yes, please cover this shit up." So he did. That was horrible cover up job. Like it's absolutely. You want to, like, I told him to give me some tribal because that was cool at the time. Totally not cool, by the way. But yeah, so he just did an awful job. It's not even tribal. Like, you could still see the cross there. So it's still lingering around my shoulder. So what I'm going to get covered, or to cover that up, is my son. He is 6 now, but ever since he was born, he had this little stuffed donkey that he would not let go until probably a year or two ago. So I'm going to get that tattooed on my shoulder.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's time for the colossal question. Let's say they're making a movie about you. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on your movie soundtrack?
Ooh. Well, that's a tough one, because my music taste is all over the place. I can't even give you like favorites. I can kind of give you some, but 3. I would want to start off with the mood right, a little bit of dancing, getting people feeling good. So I'd have to go old school with Earth, Wind, and Fire, September.
Classic.
So then we'll go ahead and throw in one of my favorite bands of all time, Sublime, in there. You can pick any track from them, but I personally love Bad Fish. I love Garden Grove. Any songs by them. Get people going with that a little bit for a little bit of something for everybody. Then I'd probably have to throw in either some old rap or R&B. Oh man, we'll throw in some Biggie.
Any specific song?
Probably have to go Juicy, honestly.
All right. We're definitely a solid 3 picks, to say the least. Now that we have the soundtrack down, everybody knows you get the soundtrack first. then you write the script, and then you go the casting. Who plays you, and you can't say yourself because you are obligated to make a Stan Lee-esque cameo.
Ooh. So would this be a TV actor or anybody that you've seen on TV?
Anybody you want.
You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there. I'm just going to go ahead and say Dave Bautista. He can play me.
Hell yeah. Now that we have you casted, every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be 3 people significant to you in your story that would be in your movie, and who would play them?
Ooh. Man, you got some stumpers here. I feel like I'd have to put a lot of thought in that one. I'll give you 3 actors though, that I would want in my movie. Definitely Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay.
Definitely Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones.
Okay.
God, there's so many. Dude, I could if I didn't have to think about this, I would just spit them out. Let's see. Henry Cavill.
Okay.
That's my Superman right there.
Do we know who they will be playing in your movie?
Ooh. I have no idea. We'll find something though.
Okay, so we'll figure out who they're playing.
Yeah, we'll do a part 2. We'll do a part 2, and I'll give you that answer.
Fair enough. But sounding like a great movie, a blockbuster to say the least, and you could pre-order the tickets now. On to a controversial subject: pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
I'm about 50-50 with that. It's not my number 1 choice, but I would eat the shit out of it. So you know why? Because I love pizza, and it's actually not that bad. Not a big fan of ham or pineapple, but together I feel like they make some magic.
Okay, so leaning more towards pro rather than...
Sure, I'll give you a sure. If it's there, yes. Would I order it? No.
Okay, I gotcha. What's your spirit Pokemon?
Ooh. I'll be honest with you. I have never been into Pokemon ever in my life.
That's fair.
So I can't really tell you anything about it except for that little yellow Pokemon, whatever it is.
Pikachu.
The main, Pikachu. That's about all I know.
Gotcha.
I tried the Pokemon Go once and lost interest immediately, but hey, at least I tried.
Yeah. Now, we love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show. Do you know the acronym for Doug? THUG.
I feel like I do, but I don't. I can't give you that answer. I've seen it and I've heard it. Please tell me.
T is for terrible, H is for hell, U is for ugly, and G is for jail, 'cause a Doug can't spell.
Oh, man.
Yes, we love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show. Trying to
R.I.P.
keep the memory alive.
Absolutely.
Weirdest question you'll be asked on a wrestling interview, hopefully. Would you ever consider wrestling a Rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual physical Rock.
Yeah, why not? Absolutely. Kenny Omega can wrestle a 9-year-old girl. Didn't he wrestle a blow-up doll too once or something like that?
I believe so.
Okay, yeah, if he can do that, I can wrestle a Rock. Would it feel good? Probably not, but I would do it.
But just for context, there is a wrestler named Psycho Mike that indeed wrestled a Rock for over 15 minutes.
Okay, I know who Psycho Mike is.
You do?
Yeah, he's the hard cam guy.
Yes, he is. Well, he wrestled a Rock for over 15 minutes in a Tungsten Man match. That's an Arm Man match that lasts for 2 weeks.
Oh my, I'm gonna have to go check that on YouTube.
I can send it to you.
Yes, please. I would love to see that.
Yes. On a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years in the wrestling game, I'm going to be well retired.
Okay, so just retired.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably still be involved somehow, some way. But as far as in-ring action, I want to say I'll probably be nice and retired. My knees are pretty banged up, and my neck and my back are pretty beat up as well. So I'm kind of getting there. Like I still can go, still have fun with it, but you never know. You know, people say that kind of stuff all the time, but yeah, as long as I keep having fun, like I have been, we'll go until the wheels fall off.
I gotcha. And what is a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off you as a pro wrestler?
Ooh, gosh, I've had so many, especially with pure pro wrestling. Like I've had so many great fun opportunities, and the thing that I like most, which my particular role has been with this company for quite some time now, is like I've been working a lot of the students because they actually, you know, they have their own school. They're primarily a student-based promotion, which I'm one of the very few indie guys out there that actually work for them because, again, they're primarily student-based. But, you know, I kind of take pride in the fact that they allow me to and trust me enough to work with their students to put on good matches and to lead them and teach them and, you know, just go out there and have good matches. And so I've been doing that for, you know, quite a few years now. It's been very fun. I want to say these past 2 years, I've just had so many fun matches that I would highlight any of those. There's probably one or two stinkers out there, I'll be honest, but thankfully you will not see footage of that. But anything at the Park Theater. We've been there for 3 years now, I want to say. So anything at the Park Theater has been an absolute blast. Like, and a lot of this too, like the crowd makes it so much more better too. As far as, you know, the crowd eating what you give them. It's just hard to say. I would say anything for the Park Theater. I had a really fun match at the Masonic Temple in Bay City, Michigan. Danhausen was actually on that show.
Very nice, very evil.
Yep, right before he signed with WWE. And I tell you what, awkward interaction with him. I don't know if I want to put this out there, but it's funny as hell, so I'm going to do it anyways. I was in the bathroom, just splashing water. I went in the bathroom, like, splashed water in my face and, like, get myself all pumped up. I was in my gear. And so I'm facing the bathroom sink in the mirror. And he comes out of the other side of the area where the stalls are. I'm like, oh, Danhausen, very nice to meet you. Sullivan Stone, and just introducing yourself. Not realizing he just came out of the fucking bathroom and probably just, you know, jiggled the piss off his, you know, wiener and whatever. Maybe dropped a deuce. Who knows? But he went to go shake my hand, and luckily he didn't because, whoa, oh my gosh, I just used the bathroom. Sorry. I'm like, oh my God, I just realized you used the bathroom. Whoa, fist bump. Yeah. That's my awkward interaction with Danhausen.
He was actually going for the handshake.
Oh yeah, we both were full force. we both stopped right before they touched. It was funny as hell. Yeah, I'll never forget. And that's this thing too. Like, I feel like, and I can't name anything in particular except for this, but I just feel like a lot of my interactions are funny like that.
But definitely, very nice, very awkward. Let's say.
Yeah, to say the least.
Well, definitely a good story.
But
at least.
also, he was in full makeup too, which makes it even better.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the matches you mentioned, can we find them on YouTube?
Yeah. Yeah. So I set up my own stuff, like tripod, and make sure I record all my matches, whether they're shitty or good. And I post about 90% of my stuff on there, on my YouTube channel.
Perfect. And the link to your YouTube page will be in the description of the
Yep.
video below, but on YouTube and Castbox, people could binge all things Solomon Stone after this interview. For the people that haven't seen him, wants to see him, wants to re-see him after this interview.
Yeah, check it out. There's a little bit of everything on there. I got promo stuff on there. I got goofy shit on there. I got mostly wrestling matches. Yeah, definitely check it out. I got stuff on there from some of my beginning days to more present time.
And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
This is our speed round or bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Eddie Guerrero.
Worst wrestler.
Ooh. Oh man. I don't know. That's a tough one. There's some horrible ones up there. Based on wrestling skill, oh, I don't know. And this, I'm not saying like I'm a great wrestler or anything, but at all. But I want to say Goldberg, maybe.
I will accept that answer.
Okay. Answer accepted. All right. If Aaron Nova ever listens to this episode, he will be very heartbroken that I said that because he is a massive Goldberg fan.
You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Bret Hart. Because I know he'll take care of me and make the match look like $1 million fucking dollars.
Except, unlike that Goldberg guy.
I know. What a coincidence. Those two are back. You know, the answers are back to back.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Ooh, any entrance music to come out to? So many good ones, though. So many good cheesy ones, especially in the late 80s, early 90s. Ooh. I would definitely have to go cheesy. Jim Johnston style.
Hell yeah.
Man, that's such a tough one. Let's just say Beverly Brothers.
Okay. Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is...
Dead.
We would have also accepted. Tastes great on toast. Squash. Vegetable or fruit?
Squash, vegetable, or fruit. That's a vegetable, right? Just had squash the other day.
Is that your final answer?
Can I phone a friend? No, that's my final answer.
You may not Google, you may not phone a friend.
Final answer. Vegetable.
It is indeed a fruit.
Oh.
It has seeds. Tomato logic.
Oh, man. Oh shit, it does.
Yes.
All right, well, learn something new every day.
We are educational. New Japan wrestler Taichi, his ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
I mean, you gotta cover all them butt cheeks, dude.
So full coverage.
Full coverage. No one wants to see those hairy ass cheeks.
And
Yeah, so the only wrestlers that can pull that off are the women's wrestlers. Let's be real.
all right. And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
No, never.
And that is the correct answer.
Woohoo!
And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me. It was a fun time.
Absolutely. And once again, where can we find you on social media and merchandise?
You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I'm not going to give you my Snapchat or my phone number, but you can find me on my handle at SolomonStone22 and my YouTube channel.
And merchandise is DMing you personally or Pro Wrestling Tees.
Correct. Or, just come check out a wrestling show here in Michigan, Pure Pro Wrestling. Next one is July 31st in Holland, Michigan at the Park Theater. I will have plenty of merch.
Perfect. And you don't have to type it into your Google machines. All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and CastBox, simply click the link. A new tab will appear on whatever device you are on. You have no excuse. Give him a damn follow. And buy a damn shirt. Of course, thank you.
Follow, like, subscribe, buy merch.
Do all the things.
All of it.
Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment. But on YouTube and CastBox, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us next Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews, and follow the show at Wrestling with E, but on Extra and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Alright, when I say wrestling wit, you say entertainment, okay?
Got it.
For our special guest, Solomon Stone, Coleco Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling Wit
Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.